Greg, I noticed your back gate was locked.
Wait, are you seriously talking about my gate on my property?
Per HOA policy, board members must have unrestricted access to all backyards for compliance inspections.
Unrestricted access? That sounds a lot like trespassing.
It's standard procedure.
Standard for who? Because last I checked, normal neighborhoods don't have random people snooping around private property.
We received a complaint about an unauthorized structure in your yard.
You mean my shed?
Yes, it wasn't pre-approved by the HOA.
It's been there for 3 years.
That doesn't matter. You need to remove it immediately.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Oh, really? Because I see you're still sitting on your patio in that blue hoodie, typing away on your phone.
How do you know that?
I told you, Greg. The HOA is always watching.
Excuse me.
Don't worry. It's just part of our surveillance policy, ensuring the community remains orderly.
What surveillance policy? I never agreed to that.
You agreed the moment you moved in.
This is beyond insane. Are you spying on me through cameras?
That's confidential.
Oh, we'll see about that.
I see you right now, Greg. And if I were you, I wouldn't call 911.
Follow for part 2.
Greg, screenshotting our conversation won't do you any good. The HOA sees everything. We make the rules.
You're seriously trying to scare me into tearing down my own shed?
This isn't about the shed anymore. It's about compliance. And right now, you're being difficult.
Difficult? You mean refusing to let you break into my yard and spy on me?
We enforce community standards. And when people refuse to comply, things tend to get complicated.
What's that supposed to mean?
Greg, let me ask you something. Have you checked your mailbox today?
What does my mailbox have to do with anything?
Just take a look. I'll wait.
What in the world is this? A notice for multiple code violations? Since when?
Since concerned neighbors started filing complaints.
Oh, come on. Fire hazards? Noise complaints? Improper trash disposal? That's all nonsense.
That's not for me to decide, Greg. That's up to the board. And as of today, the board is reviewing your standing in the community.
You're seriously trying to push me out over this?
I don't make the rules, I just enforce them.
That's funny, because it seems like you're making them up as you go.
You're welcome to appeal, but in the meantime, I'd think long and hard about what kind of neighbor you want to be.
You're bluffing.
Follow for part 3.
You're seriously trying to kick me out of the neighborhood over a shed?
It's not about the shed, Greg. The HOA must keep the community in order, and as of right now, you're making things difficult.
How so? Refusing to be bullied?
By refusing to comply, and non-compliance has consequences.
Like what, more fake violations, more made-up complaints?
Greg, your fines are stacking up. If you don't address them, you'll be in violation of your agreement with the HOA.
You mean the agreement I signed when I moved in? The one that never said you could spy on me, trespass, or make up violations out of thin air?
If you don't like the rules, you're welcome to leave.
Oh, you'd love that, wouldn't you? Just bully me out so you can have full control?
Nobody is forcing you to stay, Greg. But let me remind you, when homeowners rack up enough violations, legal action isn't off the table.
Legal action?
Unpaid fines, property devaluation, potential foreclosure, it's all in the contract. And if this drags on long enough, well, let's just say you might not have much of a choice anymore.
This is insane. You can't just do this.
Greg, we already did.
Yeah, well, I just did something too.
And what's that?
Follow for part 3. So I checked my security cameras, and it turns out the HOA tried to break into my backyard last night.
Greg, let's not blow this out of proportion.
Oh, I don't need to. The footage speaks for itself. Your board members climbing my fence, snooping around, even digging through my trash.
That was a routine compliance check.
At 2 a.m., without my consent? Yeah, pretty sure that's called trespassing.
Greg, this is getting out of hand. Let's be reasonable.
Reasonable? You threatened me with fines, fake violations, and foreclosure because I wouldn't tear down my shed.
We can make this all go away. Take down the shed, drop the complaints, and we'll forget this ever happened.
Yeah, I've got a better idea.
Greg, don't do anything you will regret.
Already did. Sent the footage to my lawyer and copied the local news and the city council.
You what?
Oh, and fun fact, my neighbor happens to be a lawyer, specializing in HOA abuse cases. He's very interested in this.
Greg, let's not be hasty. We can find a way to resolve this quietly.
Oh, now you want to talk? After threatening me, spying on me, and trespassing? Yeah, no.
You don't understand what you're getting yourself into.
You're right, I didn't. But now I understand exactly what kind of corrupt mess I'm dealing with. And soon, so will the police.
Greg, be reasonable. We can fix this.
You can fix it when you're explaining yourself to law enforcement. I'm done here.